I can hear you. Can you hear and see me?
Yes, looking great.
Awesome.
Everyone, this is Elaine from Recharge. I'm really excited about this topic because I think it's completely overlooked. When I think about how do I retain a customer, so as a beauty box subscription, it was a discovery product. Every month, new products in the box that you didn't know what it was. It wasn't renewal based. And so when you're thinking about discovering products, you want to go to the website, you want to go to the social channels, and you really want to find out, oh my God, what's going to come in my box and all that stuff. So it turns out a portal is a really great way to engage that customer around that discovery component, as well as encourage them to take actions and upsell them into new products, and as well as reduce churn, which so all those things become really important. And so Elaine's going to talk to us about this customer portal and some really great strategies you can do to keep customers engaged and retained with the portal. I'll let you take it away from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Derek. I really appreciate that. And thanks for having us all on. And thank you guys for taking time out of your day. As Derek said, I'm Elaine. I'm from Recharge, and I'm here to talk to you guys about what a good customer portal can do to improve your overall retention with subscriptions. And it's actually quite a lot, as Derek already alluded to. And so just so you guys know, Recharge, the only Plus certified subscription billing tool right now. We've got over 10,000 brands that are using us on Shopify and Shopify Plus. So just a little bit of experience when it comes to this kind of stuff. Lots of learnings that we can share. And I think the main thing here too is that one of the big takeaways is that subscriptions should never be set it and forget it. And so you always want your customers interacting with you, the brand, their subscription, and a lot after their initial checkout. Because I mean, the big draw with subscriptions, as we all know, is that you don't have to check out again and again. Like you just go through once. And so really making the customer portal your home for the relationship between your brand and your customer is really important to start cultivating that value. And here's how we do it. So LTV, I'm just going to talk about this a tiny bit first. So technically this stands for lifetime value or customer lifetime value. And it really defines how valuable a customer is over their lifetime with a brand, which I'm sure we almost all of us / all of us already know. And the higher it is, the better. And so what it is really is a quantitative measure of your relationship with your customers. And there's a lot of things you can do in the customer portal that are going to increase LTV, which is why I'm just spending tiny bit of time on it. And it's a measure across your average order value. So that's the AOV, the value, the revenue that you're bringing in per every single order per customer. And churn, which is how long or how short they're actually going to be staying with you. How many subscription cycles are they staying? Are they in at the long haul, or are they not? Are they just coming in once and then leaving? And there's a reason that LTV is talked about so much, and it's because it's such an important measure. And it's an important measure because it essentially is a measure of the stability of your value proposition. And why is it a measure of stability? Well, it's because it's measured over time, and ideally it's measured over the lifetime of the customer, as the name suggests. And it's also measured in value, which is the revenue that customer is bringing to you. And so while there's no one single magic metric that you should ever really be using to measure the value of your customer, if you had to pick one, this is the one that you're going to pick. Because it takes into account the commitment and value over time that a customer has to, which is why everyone's always talking about it. So now that we've covered that, I kind of made up this analogy for this presentation. So I apologize if you've seen this before. I keep alluding to LTV representing the quantitative measure of the relationship that you have, that a brand has with its customers. And so I'm using a relationship analogy here to describe LTV. So I'll see what you guys think it is. So basically, we've got average order value, AOV, we've got churn, which is the time the relationship lasts. And if we give both of those measures a high and a low value, we get 4 potential outputs of relationship type that you might have with your customers in terms of LTV. So first option here, we've got the one night stand. This is low AOV. You're really not getting a lot of revenue back from them per per transaction, and they're also leaving right away very high churn. So basically this is just not worth it. That's a relationship that is not worth it. That's really not what you have. That's the kind of the worst LTV that you could be looking for. Second up, we've got Fling. So Fling is actually, there's a high AOV here, which means you're actually getting a lot of revenue back when it comes to their transaction, but they're also leaving very quickly. And so this might be kind of a trendy, hot, flashy product. Really the main issue with this type of relationship in terms of LTV is that the value that you're asking for, what you're doing a bad job as a brand of delivering or communicating the value that you promised to your customer, because you got them on the hook and they came in with a high average order value, but then they left because something was missing. So this could be that you asked for too much before you proved the quality of your relationship, which is why I really think stability is a really good place to start when it comes to LTV. And so that brings us to the two, I would say, most important LTV relationships, which are going steady and marriage material. So we'll start with going steady. It's this low AOV, you're not getting a lot of revenue per transaction, but it's also low churn, which means that these customers are coming back a lot. And this is a good thing. This is stability. And so stability in returning customers is really the first step that you need to strengthen your brand to your customer relationship. And then you can start adding value. So that's when we look at our best LTV relationship marriage material, high AOV, you're getting a lot of revenue, low churn, they're sticking around, and this is what we want. And this means that you're delivering on the promise of value. And so back to the talk. So, oh yeah, and this is, if this was a TV show that we're all binging, LTV relationships, it's not a good show. So back to what we're talking about. We're talking about the customer portal. And so how do we fix LTV inside of our customer portal? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to make that relationship stable, right? And so this comes with decreasing churn. So that's lengthening our relationship with the customer. A lot of people call churn the leaky bucket because you're putting all this revenue in the bucket and then it's leaking for those people who are churning out and unsubscribing. And so the big thing with decreasing churn, the reason why stability is so important, I would say above all else, is because you've already convinced your customers to buy your product for the first time. That's the hardest part. That is the most expensive part. And all you have to do now is not screw it up. And that's a really good position to actually begin. And so by focusing first on lengthening your relationship with your existing subscribers, that's good because it's costing a lot to get them in the door and you did it. And now we want to keep them there. So what's the best way to decrease churn inside the customer portal? Well, interactions. And so the interesting thing about interactions is that every single interaction is an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity to build your relationship. So that could be a sale, it could be a message, it could be a piece of marketing. It's really just a point to connect with your customer. And so the more interactions that a customer has inside of their customer portal, the better for the longevity of the relationship. And we actually have some data to back this up. I'll show that to you guys in a slide or two. You might be wondering, well, what kind of interactions are you talking about? It's actually any kind of interaction. So again, I'll show you guys these correlations in a second. And these interactions, they can go from skipping your next shipment to swapping your subscription or product to changing your delivery date, updating your billing information. It's just a small handful. Before I show you guys the data, I want to show you what a customer portal without interactions looks like, and then what a customer portal with interactions looks like. So you can see this one is pretty plain. It's pretty basic, it's unbranded, it's inauthentic. I can add a product, we can see here. But again, I'm not really sure how to add this product, how it's added. I'm not really sure why I should add it. It's not really telling me much here. Again, I can edit my subscription, you see here, but again, I'm not really sure how or why I should be editing it. And basically, it's your job as the brand to guide your customer through this experience. And we're going to do that with a way better portal. So let's have a look at these guys. Okay, already it looks so much better. So this is Native's portal. They are on Recharge, and I'm going to hone in on a few things right off the bat here, just in terms of interactions that we're talking about. So subscription frequency. First of all, lots of transparency. I can see this is coming every single month, which is great. I can edit that, so I can change with how many months, what the interval I'm getting this at, depending on my own preferences. I can see exactly when my next box is getting shipped on, June 3rd. I can edit that date as well. So there's not just this general edit button. There's a lot of transparency and guidance in this portal already. I can see what the product is. I've got this vintage collection deodorant. I can edit that product as well, so they'd be swapping it out. And then I can see here, toss these in, add something new to your next package only. Okay, cool. I can add any of these right now as a one-time product to my next subscription. And now that I know I can do that, because they put such great messaging in here, maybe I don't see anything here that I like, but I can go to add more products. So I'm going to dive into more portals in a second, including Native's portal. But at a high level, I really just wanted to show you guys what these interactions look like and what we're talking about. Because as much as churn can be reduced by any interaction, it's really an interaction that allows a customer more autonomy over their subscription, over their order, over the products they're getting, because these products are a part of their lifestyle and they have to be malleable. And the more malleability that you give back to your customers, the longer they're going to stay with you. And so before we dive into the portals, let's just have a look at some of this data first. So swaps and skips, we kind of already alluded to this. What we've seen, and again, we've got over 10,000 merchants, we've seen huge correlation between active customers, so those current subscribers, and churned subscribers, ones who have since left, between the number of skipping their next shipments that they did and the number of product swaps and subscription swaps that they did. It's almost double on each of these. So people who stick around, the reason they can stick around is actually because they can play around with their subscriptions so much more inside their customer portal, which is the home of the relationship. And so just to give you an example of this, one thing we come across a lot is, if someone can't, let's say, skip their next shipment, and I've got this deodorant coming, and I didn't use that much deodorant last week because it's quarantine or something. It's just an example. And I don't need another deodorant. I might want to skip the shipment because I just already have too much. I haven't used it all yet. But if I can't skip my shipment in the portal, I might think, well, you know what? And this happens a lot. I'll just cancel my subscription for now and I'll remember to resubscribe later. But people don't remember to do that. And then they end up churning out. So that's just a really quick example of why having skip subscription, say that 5 times fast, inside of your portal is going to decrease churn. Okay, cool. So let's have a peek. This is talking about the longevity here. So we actually also saw, aside from interactions, we actually saw active customers engage. So those who engaged more, so skipping their shipment and swapping their subscription is an example of engagement. They actually stayed for twice as many transactions overall. So twice as many subscription cycles, which is really interesting. So again, this is all pointing towards why interactions inside the portal are so important. And I'm just going to show you guys this. This is a cohort retention analysis. So this is part of the enhanced analytics of Recharge, but I just really want to hammer home that having a good analytics tool is going to be super important for tracking your churn. And this is just an example of what it could look like. What this does is it looks at all the subscribers that joined per month. So you have your subscriber cohorts, right, of each month, and the percentage of those that were retained over time. And so being able to track this, super important. No matter what you use, make sure you have a good analytics tool. Mind you, this is our demo store, so don't pay too close attention to the numbers here. Obviously, people don't stay subscribed to our demo store very long. You would see much higher numbers than this, I would hope. But very, very good to keep track of churn with a tool like this. There's 2 types of churn. There is voluntary churn, which is active churns. This is when someone proactively makes the decision to cancel their subscription. And then there's involuntary or passive churn, which, as the name suggests, essentially for whatever reason, the subscription times out. And so there are different ways to tackle both of these. I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do to tackle both of these in the customer portal. And I'm going to tell you here, and I'm going to show you on the next slide. And so when it comes to voluntary or active churn, we actually already went through an example of this, and that would be, I have too much product. So I have too much product, I'm going to skip a shipment. Another thing could be, you know, I'm kind of sick of this product. I'm sick of this particular scent, and I just want to switch it to another scent. I love getting deodorant every month. It's perfect, but I want to try something new. So swapping your product, swapping your variant is another thing here. I'll just put these up. And then changing the delivery date as well. So let's say skipping your next shipment, not quite enough. Maybe I'm going on vacation. Jokes, none of us are going on vacation, but hopefully soon. And when we do, you might have to change your delivery date to much farther in the future. You know, maybe it's like 3 months out. Maybe I actually want it sooner because I ran out. So I can pull that forward. So changing the delivery date's a big one. And then cancellation retention flows are great because they're going to tackle people who just didn't see these options in the portal. And then if I go to cancel, and if I say, yeah, I'm canceling because I have too much product, it can actually prompt me inside the retention flow, inside the customer portal, that to actually just skip my shipment instead of cancel. So making sure that these options are baked into your retention cancellation flow is key. And of course, involuntary or passive churn. So like we said, so this is an example of this is really just that it's timing out. Biggest thing here is that people's credit cards will time out. They'll expire. And so one thing that you can do in the Recharge customer portal, at least, and in any customer portal that you're using, you should make sure that you have the ability to notify customers when their card's expiring so that they can be reminded to change it. Because, you know, involuntary or passive churn is the one that you want to avoid the most because they weren't going to churn. Something just, you know, lack of attention to detail, it's something timed out, something expired on their side that just led them to not continuing their subscription, but they didn't actively choose to do that. So by eliminating involuntary churn, you're actually doing your customers a huge favor. So let's see some of this in action. I've got Native's customer portal here. We're going to run through very quickly. So we've got subscription frequency. You can see I can edit this. Perfect. I can change this every 2, 3, 4 months, all on the same page, which is great. Next box ships on June 3rd. I can edit that. Going on vacation. I'm going to push this back. Wishful thinking, update shipping date, all on the same page. This is actually all using the theme engine, which is a developer toolkit Recharge provides to customize the portal. So it's very intuitive using the theme engine. See here, I actually want to get 2. I'm editing my product, my subscription. I'm getting 2 now. Again, all in the customer portal. We've got my billing address there, my shipping address, I can change that, my payment method, I can edit this. I don't have anything in here. It's actually telling me, prompting me, there's no card on file. And cancel subscription, this is the flow that's really cool. So basically, if I pick, let's see, oh, I have more than I need. Oh, I went too far. I have more than I need. It prompted me to skip my shipment. And so I need it sooner. You can actually ship now. So ship now is an endpoint that's in Recharge, but you know, if you're working with any subscription tool, having these either endpoints available in the API or having this in the functionality somehow is fantastic, because sometimes, you know, maybe you get a new roommate for whatever reason, you run through your product faster than you thought you would, and you want to pull that forward. Shipping now is a really great endpoint availability to have in the customer portal as well. Oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't continue the video. I just went to the next slide. And basically, if I just skip to the end here, you know, choose a different product or scent, it's going to prompt me to swap the product out. And this is too expensive. They can still cancel their subscription. So That's the retention flow. That's how you can work in other options there. Super cool, very important. And again, we saw a 15% lift in retention when customers took any action. And so again, giving autonomy back to your subscribers inside the relationship of their subscription, because this is a part of their life, they're going to stick around way longer. And we actually saw that. More data. I love data. Engaged customers stuck around for twice as many subscriptions periods as those who did not engage. So again, the more means that you can give for your customers to engage, the better it's going to be. And now that I've gone through how do we keep our customers around, how do we make this a going, steady relationship and increase the stability of the relationship with our customers? We decreased churn, we did it. Now, how do we increase the value of that relationship, increase the average order value? We want to increase our value proposition. So there's a lot of ways to do this. And really overall, like if you take the product quality out of this, it comes down to a great experience. So the question here is, how do we improve that customer experience inside the portal itself? And we already saw some of it. So again, this is really what the customer is willing to compensate the brand for. And so there's some big ways we can improve average order value inside the portal. And number one, and Derek alluded to this too, which is awesome, adding a one-time product into their next subscription order, big one, adding a new subscription to their existing order. And then there's a few other things that you can otherwise enhance their experience with. But these immediately are going to improve average order value. This is just a quick chart that I've got here, average order value by vertical. This is from our State of Physical Subscriptions report that we just released last week. It measures over 4,000 merchants of our 10,000, broken down by vertical. This is measured over the last 12 months. And what's really interesting, I mean, this is a really good benchmark for anyone who's listening, you know, if you're in one of these industries, but it's important to drill down into these two, because let's take average order value, for example. It's the highest here. And if you actually dig into it, what you'll see is that liquids, beverages, are quite heavy, and they therefore are much more expensive to ship. And a lot of beverage companies will encourage bigger average order values, like a bigger individual shipment, to reduce on the number of shipments you get and therefore your shipping costs. And so it's kind of interesting because you'll notice as the products become lighter and easier to ship, they go down in average order value. You know, we got coffee here, magazines, beauty products. And so it's important to always take any data that you see and combine it with the other relevant data. So in this case, you know, shipping costs could actually be a pretty important one, because you're going to want to reduce the number of shipments someone gets if shipping is very expensive. So average order value in combination with, let's say, the length of their subscription periods. Are they getting it every month, or are they getting it every 3 months? You know, you're going to see higher average order values when you elongate the time between those recurring subscriptions. But fun food for thought. I wanted to include this, and you guys will be getting this report also. And so I just wanted to show you what some of this average order value add-ons in the customer portal looks like. So I'm diving into Dr. Axe, one of our clients, right off the bat. Oh, I keep thinking that by clicking the video, I'm going to pause it. It doesn't work for some reason. One sec. So yeah, so we've got one-time products. This notifies me immediately that I can add one-time products, how and why I should do it. So this is my customer portal in Dr. Axe. You can see it looks quite different. So this is what the theme engine actually allows you to do, but we're going to add a one-time product right now. And so lots of malleability in terms of development when we're seeing all of these different customer portals. So here's all the one-time products I can add. You know, let's say Ache Away essential oil blend. Been sitting down in my house for the last 2 months, and I'm aching all over. So if anyone can relate to that, I'm going to add this to my next subscription. So this tacks on a one-time product to your next subscription, which is great. I hit add product, boom, it's inside my customer portal. Really cool. And now I have an overview of all of this stuff. So edit, swap, skip, I can do all that. Let's add a subscription to this too. So let's see what that looks like. So I've clicked add subscription here. Again, I get the list of all the subscriptions I can add. And let's say I got this Ancient Fortress Essential Oil Blend as a one-time product ad last month, and I loved it. I tried it out as a one-time product, so I'm gonna add it to as a subscription now. So super cool. Again, I can change the sort of the elements of the subscription. I'm gonna set the order, the delivery date way in the future. You can do whatever you want here, really, which is cool. Again, using it, the more malleability you have with customizing this portal, the better the experience is going to be for your customers. And so using something like both Native and Dr. Axe use Theme Engine, which is a really comprehensive developer toolkit and a set of APIs that you can pull into the customer portal and do almost anything with, which is really cool. So just in terms of data, these are some of the hard results that we saw. Food industry, by adding a one-time product to their customer portal, 1.6 times increase in average order value. That's huge, okay? Pets, 1.4 times average order increase by adding a one-time product. And coffee, 1.1 times average order increase. These might not sound like a lot, but even for example, with coffee has one of the lowest churn rates for subscriptions, which you'll see in the report if you download it. But what's really interesting is, doesn't seem like a lot, but when you multiply this across all of your subscribers, and especially ones that have a very low churn rate, if you've already developed that stability and stable relationship, this turns into a lot of money. So really cool. Otherwise, optimizing the customer experience. What are some other ways that we can increase LTV specifically in the portal? We've seen that with all of our examples. Easy navigation, many CTAs, upsells, cross-sells, skipping, shipments, swapping products, shipping now, mobile friendly. All the portals you saw, incredibly mobile friendly, super important. Those retention strategy flows. Consolidating a customer's information. We saw that a lot. There's their billing information, their shipping information. Loyalty points is something that you can add, as well as value add content. So blogs, recipes, and I want to show you guys one really quick portal. We're coming up on time, but this is one more. Again, this portal is also using the event but looks totally different. So it's just so cool to see what everyone can come up with. And this is actually really a hub. This is truly the home of the relationship. I can see my order history. They put rewards in here. They put the online store, the Facebook group community in here. I could do so many actions from this customer portal. It's not just housing my data, it's housing content that's been curated for me from the brand to me as a customer. And it's only because I'm a member, actually, in this case. And so I'm just showing you kind of what their Facebook group looks like. So this is something, again, they've embedded this directly into the customer portal so that as a subscriber, I can access all of this from my little home here. I've got support in here. We've got these 2 new promotions that they're doing, member offers, which is partnerships with other companies. It's really cool. So the conclusion, as you guys know, we want to increase customer lifetime value. We do that in the customer portal by increasing the interactions, which overall improves their experience. And so by measuring the quality of our relationship, we want to give back as much as possible. And in the customer portal, we can, to decrease churn and stabilize our relationship with customers, we can introduce very good cancellation retention flows. We can let them skip their next shipment. We can let them swap their products or their subscriptions, or swap the variants of those, right? If it's a deodorant, different scent, that's just swapping a variant, super easy in recharge. Updating credit card information, changing their frequency to increase the average order value once we have that stability, one-time products in the portal, adding new subscriptions in the portal, and then overall we want this mobile optimized, and add any other content that you want. This is the hub, the home of the relationship. And with that, thank you guys so much. It's always so weird just like talking my own ear off. I hope this was really helpful. And I hope everybody's staying safe and happy and healthy. feel free to reach out to me. My email's right here, Elaine@rechargeapps.com, for any questions that you guys might have. And thank you for your time again. And thanks, Derek.
Yeah, Elaine, I actually think this is just so huge. Just one of those overlooked major wins for so many brands here. And from the comments, I can see everyone believes in this. So I think everyone saw those examples and they were phenomenal. I'm like actually jealous of them because they're so well done. I think everyone's wondering what's the name of the theme, or so how do we get started with doing this? We need do we need to hire a developer agency, and we're going to use your developer kit?
Yes, that is a great question, and I'm just catching up on the chat now. So yes, so we typically work, we have a very big network of incredible partners that work with us specifically for anyone who's working on customizing their portal, which is using the theme engine. So I can send over, it's actually on our site, actually, theme engine customer portal. I can include some links if that would be helpful. I can send them over to you, Derek. Perfect.
For sure. And throw them here in chat as well.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, I think that's going to be huge. And I think some people are going to get started on this right away. We're going to have to move into the next session really quick, but one quick question from Leslie Fong, who she just wants to know, I'm pretty sure this is possible, that you can, if you can do both a 1 month subscription option and the 12-month prepaid kind of on the same screen, so people have that drop down of choosing these multiple options.
That is a very good question, and that inside that would appear more on the product page. So what you would have to do there, so prepaids operate quite a bit differently. You could definitely do that on the product page. In terms of pulling in prepaids to the portal itself, you should be able to do that with swapping the subscription, but that would require development work. So what I can do too for anyone who maybe isn't working with someone right now, definitely reach out to myself, and we can kind of talk through what you're looking to do and hook you up with one of our amazing development partners who'd be able to help put something like this in place.
Awesome. And what one final question as well. Do you integrate with WooCommerce? I don't remember.
No, we don't.
Shopify and Plus.
Yeah, Shopify Plus. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Jonathan.
Sorry.
Yeah, what you've got there from a flexibility standpoint and the way that Recharge handles subscriptions, I just love it. Huge fan of the tool. So amazing work to you and team, and what you showcase to us shows the value of why Recharge. So I love it. Makes my job easy as since my job is to highlight tech tools and what those unique differentiators are.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Elaine. We're going to get right into our next session here as we promote Nihal to